Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. 5 things that we need to stop doing today in the Philippines. I want to talk a little bit about that. You know, my channel is trying to help the new man and woman who's never been to the Philippines, who, has an interest in coming here. I know a lot of times most of the people who are in my comments are you old veterans and people who say, "Oh, Cal, everybody knows that," but really, they don't, guys. Okay, we're on our way back to St. Carlos City. It's going to be a brutal trip. It always is, no matter where you're going in St. Carlos City. We've got to catch the ferry from Iloilo to Bacala, then, of course, that long bus trip, 2.5 to 3 hours from Bacala to St. Carlos City. But it's just, it is what it is, and we're going to do it. But the first thing we need to stop doing is making permanent decisions with a temporary visa. And I'm talking about doing permanent things like buying homes, building houses, opening up businesses, doing charitable work, investing, on a tourist visa. Now, the Philippines has a great tourist visa. You can be here for so long that you'll start thinking you live here, that you're on a permanent visa, but you're not. So you start making these permanent decisions. The only exception to this is if you've got a child over here, as far as building a house. Okay, other than that, don't do it. I built the house on my tourist visa because I got a daughter here, and it's very important that your children have a place to live, a permanent place. And you say, "Well, Cal, what if I'm married?" Well, if you're married, then get the 13A. Apply for the 13A permanent resident visa. But this is one thing we have to stop immediately doing. Certainly investing in these businesses, because you have very little rights on a tourist visa. And you see guys doing it all the time, and this is the whole theme of this video today. Just because you see everybody doing it and continue to do it, it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Okay, I'm just trying to throw this out there to give you something to think about. Stop making these permanent decisions based on a temporary visa. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, the second thing is stop going up in these women without protection. Remember, there's always going to be an exception. The exception would be if you're in a committed relationship. But a committed relationship is not something you made online and then you get off the plane and you go to the hotel and you jump in bed together. I would love to know how many men and women have went back to their countries with terminal illnesses, AIDS, different things like that, because we were having unprotected sex. How many people went back with STDs, brought STDs over here, left babies behind, having babies, in their older years and have to pay child support and all the stuff, or, having a baby with a woman here and then running back, and now her life's even harder than it was before you met her. And believe it or not, guys, some of you guys, I've seen enough videos and I've seen enough interviews to know some of you guys are even going up in these bar girls with no protection. You're asking them, "Hey, can I go up in there without protection?" Because they're having babies by y'all. But this is the second thing we have to stop doing immediately. Guys, immediately. Okay? But that's okay. You're not going to listen to me. You grown men and women, you're going to do whatever you want to do. These are just suggestions, remember? These are just suggestions. If you're going to be here in the Philippines for a while, there's some things that you have to stop doing. What we do is we look at these videos, we see what everybody else is doing, and we think it's okay for us to do. Well, the third thing is stop using these ATMs and these remittance services. Now, I'm telling you from experience, man. I've spent a lot of money over here. if I could just have my money back from what I've spent on ATM fees and remittances, I'd be set, man. I would be set. Get you a bank account over here. If you're going to slow vacation over here, if you're going to be an expat over here, it's simple, man. You can do it. It's allowed to do it. Once you get your ACR card, which takes about 60 to 90 days for you to get that. Once you've been here 60 consecutive days, they're going to apply for it automatically. You need to open you up a bank account. Now, most of the banks are not open on Saturday and Sunday, but this is where your planning is going to come into play. But remember, because you see everybody doing it, and then they'll say, oh, well, I got such and such account. They give me my fees back. Well, that's a good thing, but you're only going to get your fees back the following statement or whatever it is. If you want to save your money, just like today, when we get back home, the bank will probably be closed, but in the morning, when I go to my bank account and pull out some money, it's not going to cost me not one peso. Now, it does cost me a one-time fee, not from my bank, but from the bank over here. They charge like a wiring fee, but it doesn't matter how much I send. It's the same, okay? And I'm going to get the Forex exchange rate. Banks and institutions are going to earn money some kind of way. But we have to stop using these ATMs and remittance fees, guys. These are really set up. I'm talking about in the Philippines for these OFWs. They use them, to send that $38 billion that they send over here every year. That's really what it's set up for. It's not set up for you. Okay, they're robbing you. It costs a lot of money. If I go to the ATM machine right now, it's probably going to cost me about $15. Okay, but the decision is yours. This is just a suggestion. If you're going to be over here for a while, get your bank account. It's not hard to do. They want to know proof of where your money's coming from, and you got to fill out the W-9, and you can only have a certain amount in there before they'll report it to the IRS and all of that. But they can answer all those questions for you. Okay. The fourth thing that we have to stop doing immediately over here is saying yes when you mean no. This isn't saying no. I'm just saying stop saying yes when you mean no. A lot of guys, we agree to shit over here because we don't want to disappoint people. But remember, this is your life. This is your fourth quarter. This is your retirement. Okay. They're going to get over it. But this is one thing I see so many of us doing. People messaging me, talking to me, hindsight. And they're saying, man, I don't know why I agreed to do that. Just stop saying yes when you mean no, guys. That's all. I mean, Richie Rich said something one time. He said a lot of guys, they go along to get along because they're afraid to lose the woman. They have no boundaries. That's a boundary you got to set for yourself. You're going to be miserable, okay, agreeing to go to the province when you really don't want to go. That long bus ride, then you got to take that motorcycle way up that hill. Yeah, do it one time, but if you don't feel like doing it, just don't do it. Or you don't feel like going to the birthday party, or you don't want to go to church on Sunday, or whatever it is, stop saying yes when you really mean no. Be true to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to go a long way over here, okay? Because they're always going to ask you to do something. A lot of times they'll know. They just want to ask you, out of consideration. Do you want to go? Just say, nah, I'm going to stay back. If you don't want to go to the gym, don't go to the gym. Okay? And the last thing I'm going to talk about that we absolutely have to stop doing right now. Stop comparing your life to this, what I want to call a highlight film that guys put on social media. Okay, and what you expect your life is going to be like when you come to the Philippines. A lot of what you see, certainly in the Philippines, is bullshit. Okay, shopping sprees every damn day. These beautiful resorts every damn day. Changing condominiums. Oh, look at my condominium paying X amount of dollars. Look at this beautiful woman I got beside me. Man. Stop doing that, guys. Okay, come over here and create the life that you desire for yourself. Stop comparing yourself to these highlight films, man. That's all it is. They're showing you the good times over and over and over. They're not going to be upfront. They're not going to be raw and they're not going to give you the nitty gritty like me. They're not going to tell you anything about themselves, matter of fact. Okay, so what you're getting is a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's a woman that's speaking or a man. But you have to stop doing it and thinking, oh, look at my life over here. It's a failure. Or my life where I am in my country is a failure based on what you're seeing over here. No. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a walk show over here. I tell y'all that all the time. This isn't a talk show. This is a walk show. And that's why I show y'all my house and everything like that. And while I'm on that subject of houses, if you do decide to build a house, time is now. Okay, people are talking about, oh, can I get that house built? That same house you got built for what you built it for. Now, you could get twice the house probably for what I paid. Imagine, okay, now the dollar is, just say 62. It's the highest it's ever been, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to keep going down and up, down and up. If you got a child over here, or for whatever reason, you married, you got the 13A, and you decide, hey, I'm going to live in the Philippines, I want to build a house. Man, for 2 million pesos, I already looked it up for you. It's $32,000. $32,258. That's the house and the lot you could have. Okay, and be done with it. Where in the world, I'm talking about a real house where you can kick back, 2-bedroom, your living room, dining room, bed, a bathroom, and your own property and all that. But at least you'll have some skins in the game if you marry. Or you set it aside for your daughter, she's going to have a nice place to live. See, but when I built my house for $20,000, okay, back in 2021, you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, the dollar was only 50 pesos to the dollar. You're getting 20% more right now for your money. 20% more pesos right now for your dollar than I was 5 years ago. Okay, if you were to build if they were to build a house for, let's say for 1 million pesos, what I spent. I actually spent 1 million pesos, which at that time it was $20,000. Okay, if you spent 1 million pesos, you're talking about $16,000 you would pay for my house right now. I told you, 20% less. You'd get a $4,000 discount. So what are you waiting for? I'm saying, if you got a daughter over here, okay, if you married and you got the 13A, or if you just want to continue to do what everybody else is doing. So many guys come over here and build houses on a tourist visa, guys. It's crazy. There's no reason for you to do that other than you got a child. Some of you guys aren't married. You're just building a house. You're not even thinking. Same with businesses and stuff like that. But I just want to come on here before I go back home. This came across my mind, something I wanted to talk about, the 5 things we need to stop doing right today. Okay, it's hard to help guys because they say, oh, Cal, you did it. That's why I'm telling you, don't do it with some stipulations. Okay? Stop going up in these women without a rubber. Okay, unless you got to come in a committed relationship. Otherwise, man, there's no telling what you're going to catch. And you got to respect a young lady. What are you bringing over here? You never went to the doctor. You're not going to the doctor. You don't know what you got. Some of you guys are going up in these bar girls without protection. And don't lie, you are. They're saying, yeah, I've got a baby now. They don't know who the father is. I love to see the statistics, man, of what we're taking back and what we're bringing over here. Remittance and ATM fees, they're going to eat you up. You got to find a plan for that. Okay, I'm sorry. You just got to find a plan for it. Otherwise, that's a lot of money, okay, that you're going to spend. And that $1,000 that you're talking about coming over here with, it's not going to go long. Okay, stop saying yes when you really mean no. Okay, so what, she's going to be disappointed. She'll get over it. They've been disappointed before. This is not like saying no. You can't say no to everything. I can't say no to the electric bill. But you can ask Merle, if I don't want to do something, I'm just going to say, no, I don't want to do it. If she's going out with her friends, oh, let's go to the music box they got and sing karaoke. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm chilling out tonight. Instead of saying yes and going over there, I can't understand the language. They're going to ignore me. Okay. I'm just going to be sitting there looking stupid. I've been through that enough. No, I'm not going. Okay. And then stop comparing yourself in your life to the highlight film that you see people put on social media. It's a front, guys. I'm telling you, I live over here. These guys aren't living fancy like that. They don't have it made like that. And even if they did, okay, I applaud them. Okay, that's their life. But it's not yours. So when you come over here and if your life doesn't reflect theirs, then you're a disappointment? No. Come over here and create a life for yourself. So if in America, if in the Philippines, wherever you are, finding your heart to help somebody. Not a day goes by, I don't help somebody, I promise. I spun the wheel last night. Got the spin wheel, Maryland brought it here. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid. Stop doing those 5 things immediately. And I guarantee your life will be better over here.